Like the first 5 minutes, I was kind of like, yo, he's seeing colors.
I have to be.
Director's cut. Don't talk about edibles.
What's going on?
Oh,
We haven't started.
No, that's the intro. Yeah, Footy Fanatics FC. We are back in a building. And today we got Daryl Shippy D Ships.
Yo, he's leaving me hanging. Y'all people
Oh, my fault. It's a B casting. It's a B casting. It's a B casting.
yeah,
Good,
you guys
man.
actually switched. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wanted the chair.
It's comfy.
He slouched. B cast in the building.
You already know the vibes. Energy this week.
Yeah, healthy.
I want to apologize to absolutely nobody.
I like that.
Zaza. And the posture man himself. It's Kiko Alvarez.
Doing good.
The thing is, deflected. Yo, big weekend, huh? A lot of points dropped.
I told ya 2 weeks ago. It's not over until it's over. And here you go.
I mean, yes, but the team you were talking about probably was the worst of the bunch.
Nah, but you were expecting them to lose this week.
Yeah.
Man, you were talking about Manchester United.
Yeah.
I said it's not over for them. All these front teams are going to start dropping points. And we all dropped points. The last 2 weeks, everybody dropped
But
points.
you know what the problem is? They dropping points while everyone else is
that's
dropping
true.
points.
That's true.
If we dropping points, they drop. But United's also dropping points.
To their fair, this is the worst schedule that Man U has to face this next month. That's it. After that, it's easy peasy.
And to be honest, I kind of like that everyone did drop points. It's keeping the league. It's keeping the excitement.
Keeping it honest.
We want excitement, but
It's also getting a whole bunch of coaches fired.
That's literally what I was what I was just about to say. Like, yo, it sparked to me. Like, it's what a weekend. Obviously, it's been what a season with everything going on or the sackings. We have 4 coaches sacked, right? From Dean Smith, who actually had a great run, which I think he got done bad, but we'll talk about that. Dean Smith, his name is Daniel Farke.
Facts.
And then we have Steve Bruce and Nuno Santo.
And there's one more, the guy from Watford.
Yeah,
Munoz.
already this season. And he was actually doing okay too.
And he was doing okay.
Yeah.
And still, Ole's on the wheel. But speaking of Ole, forget. I don't want your thoughts on Ole. I don't want your thoughts on Manchester. I want your thoughts now. This was one of the biggest, obviously, games this weekend in the world. It's a Manchester derby, 2 cities colliding. Let's talk about the fact we expect this from a Pep team, right? Let's talk about we do not expect this from a United team. You coming in with Ole registering 1 shot on target.
I think it all comes down to the system. I don't think Ole as a manager really has an identity to imprint on a team. Like, he just keeps switching formations up. He keeps trying to figure out something that works, and that's not working. The flipping back and forth. The one time he plays Cavani, and the next time he plays Greenwood. The next time he plays Rashford. Like, find somebody that's gonna play with Cristiano, and that's it. And don't switch it.
I don't even think it's that deep, honestly. I just think it was the Manchester derby, if I were to sum it up, would be a chemistry teacher versus a biochemist. I really it's just Guardiola's been on smoke all week. I don't know if you guys been watching his interviews. I think after the game, you saw he was kind of playing with the match program. Chilling, and then the mind games. Nah, United are super dangerous team. Honestly, it's not. I said it before. I thought, and I told you guys in the group chat, it's the biggest, in my opinion, on paper, it's the biggest game of the year. The 2 biggest teams, financially, the 2 biggest clubs in the world. But it was like, I was watching that game and I'm like,
a mid-table team.
They were just miles off. And I'm kind of looking at it and I was just like, Man City, Guardiola. This is, when we were younger, it was Fergie United and it was kind of like, you know what they were, and it was a dynasty and it was something that you're not going to create again. What Pep and City are right now, just at this point, I'm just enjoying it.
Yo, but see, for me,
just enjoying it.
I can't even talk smack because they did the same to us. They did the same. They came to the bridge and did the same thing, pinned us back, and we were like, oh, you said it. Ole switched his formation to that back 5, but we've been doing that, and they still did that to us. So like, I was thinking like, when it comes to Pep, everyone says tiki taka possession. But like really diving deep into it, like what is it? What's in terms of X's and O's? What pushes his teams to literally suffocate you and like literally make you feel like we're not scoring today?
And you know what's something I kind of
X's and O's wise,
my
like
fault,
tactically.
My fault to kind of cut you off, Omar. But I was looking at kind of the 11 he used. And mind you, Grealish didn't start. But I'm looking at his front line and his midfielders, and I'm like, name me one player from the midfield and his front line that isn't super technical, that isn't great on the ball. I'm looking at that. I'm like, bro, the way, and I know in theory every manager would want a team like this, but I'm like, bro, his whole front line, none of them are gonna lose the ball. They're all two touch. Foden, Grealish, Bernardo Silva, Kevin De Bruyne, Gundogan, Rodri. I'm like, Riyad Mahrez.
So you think it's a personnel thing more so than?
I think it's personnel. I think Pep. We could talk about X's and O's, but I just think he knows what he wants in a player, the qualities, the traits, and obviously we're not going to go into detail about it. But the Raheem Sterling thing. I don't think Sterling is technically gifted as the guys I just mentioned.
No.
Mind you, Grealish didn't even start, but I think Pep loves a guy like Grealish.
Yeah.
So I think for me, it's just, with Pep, it's almost like one of those things where I'm just looking at him and I'm like, you're almost at awe of the guy. Like when he was at Barcelona and I'm a Madrid fan and he was just spanking us every year. And out of hate, out of anger, out of fear that I was seeing in Dynasty, I just would hate on him, belittle him in some ways. But as I got older, I started realizing, bro, I know, because it's
mad sensitive. I'm staring in the eyes while
you know why? Because you said it perfectly. You know why? Because you said it perfectly. This isn't Ole and United anymore. This isn't an Ole and United talk. It's appreciating Pep and Man City and the dynasty we're seeing in front of us.
Because the fact is, we expected the United to lose.
No, but because when I told you guys, coming as a United fan, am I expecting us to come in and hand City a L? Maybe with the power squad we have.
Y'all have done it in the past.
We've done it in the past. We've done it against Chelsea. We've done it against it's a Lampard Chelsea, not a Tuchel Chelsea. But now it's like, all right, it's me tuning in to see if there's improvement from what I've been seeing the past couple weeks.
Right.
Obviously, there was zero improvement. And it's just like no creativity on the field. So then now I'm breaking it up. Okay, if I'm Ole out, why is Ole out? Like how I was trying to break down the game. He decided to go a 3-5-2. He played with three very big men in the back. It's not like they were versatile either. So when I used to peep how, for example, Tuchel plays, he plays with a versatile back three.
True.
You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't be just three. It would be
one is Aspie's a fullback, so he can play. He can play
full, and he could play in the back. This man really played Maguire, Lindelof, and
stiff.
So you have a stiff center line, and then with the Wan-Bissaka talk, I have to finally maybe go back in time and take this all back, but he's not in any type of contenders when Reece James and Trent off the game alone. Defensively, maybe on a one-on-one, he could be the best defender in the world just on a one-on-one situation. Anything other than that, I don't think he's good with IQ-wise reading defensively and moving offensively. And it's a major reason why when we're going to go back to coaching, Gareth Southgate ain't picking for the England team, except once and where he got injured. So looking at Ole's tactics, all right, you're going with a 3-5-2. You already see the first two goals coming in. Your left is open, which is Wan-Bissaka at the time. You're right.
Yeah.
It's literally getting banged up. As a coach, second half, how are you going to break that? How are you going to fix that? You get what I'm saying? Yeah. Pep probably read the field, did the couple. It's right there for you. Same thing my bad. Same thing against Liverpool. Dive down those two areas again. Even though Luke Shaw been having what a season last season, he had a great tournament. But I think it takes a role now. The constant, it's like if we're playing a game. When you're playing a game and you're constantly the one getting beat, now you're gonna lose your confidence. Now you're gonna lose your form because you carrying other people's mistakes is probably gonna fall on your plate or whatever.
I think you're being a little harsh on Wan-Bissaka right now because he does play good defense. He saved how many shots against Atalanta? He put his body on the line against Atalanta. But it's Champions League though, so
it's Atalanta and we tied the game.
But you wanted them to show up for Atalanta, or do you want them to show up in the EPL?
Because this is the thing.
I'm just saying you're being too harsh. That's what I'm trying to say.
But look at João Cancelo.
That's the goal. But
that's the point. That's what I was trying to get to.
Drive in, get to the ball.
It's the X's on the X's O at that point because
that's how you break that down.
If you look at Pep's teams, all Pep's teams, they all pressure instantly. They get the first 5 seconds.
What do you think Pep tells them?
But that's his tactics.
That's what I'm saying.
As soon as the other team gets the ball, pressure. Swarm everybody. Don't matter who you are, what position you are, you run to the ball. First 5 seconds. After that, then you drop back into position. And then that works perfectly though in the EPL because in the EPL, you mostly have center backs that don't know how to play out the back. When you play against Manchester United, just pressure them. Because Lindelof is not coming out the back. Bailly ain't coming out the back. Maguire ain't coming out the back.
And then
Shaw's out the back. And Wan-Bissaka is not good out the back.
And then you got Fred and McTominay who can't even run a
So Pep just puts pressure. That was such an easy thing. Just put pressure. At this point, Kyle Walker and John Cosell are playing right wing, right and left wing. Because when you're pressuring that much and your players are already up the pitch, then what do you just turn and go?
They couldn't even get past Kyle Walker.
They got no elbow. They had no elbow.
Dude, there's no way that the right back and the left back are getting the ball on top of the 18-yard box and they're passing it to each other.
Yeah.
Joe is passing it to Walker. Walker's passing to Joe, or whoever's playing on the right is whoever the left and the right back are playing it to each other.
So
that just shows how much numbers they get up the pitch.
So if we're trying to answer the question for United now, what did they need to do differently, or is it another personnel issue where it's Wan-Bissaka and Luke Shaw they're not good enough to counter press?
I think Luke Shaw could ball out the back, but you need somebody that's gonna stand there. Sergio Ramos, you're gonna need Marquinhos, you're gonna be somebody. Thiago Silva is gonna get the ball from the keeper and distribute well.
But you see,
that's also Man U's problem because they could get a center back that do that.
Varane was supposed to be.
But who they feeding? Fred McTowney.
That's another thing.
That's so it's a system from back to front.
But my fault to cut you off, but it's like, what is even like aside from tactics and X's and O's, what's their identity? Because Gary Neville on his podcast said something that was very interesting. He said the phrase he used was calm annihilation. And when I heard that, I was thinking, and the more I was kind of listening to him, when you go back to Man U Liverpool and they put 5 on them, right? It was almost like Klopp's identity was like blitz. What is it? Blitz, right? Go for the goal, go for the second, go for the third, go for the fourth, go to the fifth until the 90 minutes are done, right? Mm-hmm. But with Pep, it was almost like they were up 2-0 and it was like it was almost like it was like let's keep the ball for 45 minutes. Just triangles around them, 1-2s, and not care. And Gary Neville brought up a point. He was like, this in a way was worse than Liverpool because you felt like City at times were just toying with them. And it's like, Man United had an 11 of an internationals. Hell, they're up front is arguably the GOAT. And they're playing with them. So I'm even thinking like, what's the identity? What is the coach coming in saying? This is because I think it's also kind of, I don't like the fact that it's still being said that Ole's going around saying Fergie time. That's not you. You know, that was an identity that will never happen again. That will never happen again. That was something that was unique.
I'm sorry, I absolutely disagree with that.
With the Fergie time?
It's still Fergie time.
A guy who hasn't coached him in 10 years?
It is still Fergie time because he could have had him sacked.
What happened against Atlanta? 90 plus. What happened in the next game? 90 plus.
That's not Fergie time. That's Ronaldo time.
That's
Ronaldo.
That's part of Fergie time. Ronaldo's still on Fergie time.
All right. Besides Man U and besides Man City.
But that's why I want to bring this next team up because you seen the West Ham game today was the way West Ham played is the way
that's a drawing board. That's
the drawing board to beat Pep.
That's literally, but that shows
that's how we won the Champions League, and that's how you guys beat them the few times you beat them last season.
And what's that?
It's not. I wouldn't say parking the bus, but it's like really being compact, solid defensively.
And then on the break,
and they hit him on the break. You cannot go toe to toe with City. You don't try to out-possess City. They will swarm you and they will pick it up off the top of your box and score. You have to be solid. You have to be compact, and you have to have who they have. Jared Bowen. They had Antonio Pacey, Fornals, Lil Pacey, and Benrahma Pacey. That's how you beat them. There's no other way.
And maybe the system, but not with this team. The West Ham team.
Well, West Ham.
Maybe the system. Yeah, maybe the Davis Moyes idea.
It will work though. It will work.
He did beat City. He did beat City, and he beat Poole. He beat Poole, City. He beat Chelsea.
He beat all of them. He beat every team so far.
I think
David Moyes is coaching out his skin right now.
He beat Tottenham. He beat United.
Mm-hmm. He beat everybody.
He beat who?
Liverpool.
He beat who?
He beat Chelsea.
He beat who?
Tottenham.
We get into them too.
It's still a club. And it still was a club. That's a club that beat City itself.
Ain't that your team in the PL?
Huh?
Yeah. Ain't that your team in the PL?
Yo, you move funny, bro.
My team's in West London.
Oh, you get one pass. You get one
pancakes.
pass.
I'm just saying Spurs. That's not even it.
But my point is about David Moyes. He literally breaks. Like I feel like he sat there 18 hours probably watching every single game.
Nah, they don't though. That's the thing. They don't, bro. He has a team that's gonna go to the line with him, go to the death with him, and he just throws them on. Yo, he's what we gotta do. It's not that crazy, bro. You guys think that soccer's like in the back, they're like breaking down systems and X and O's, and when this guy goes this way, like football, not, bro. It's a lot of freedom on the players to do what they have to do. Obviously, they get instructions.
I feel like they're super robotic. I feel like there's
Yeah,
less freedom.
I personally wouldn't want to play with David Moyes. I think he's too strict for me. I would like to have more of a free roll. I would love to play for Chelsea right now.
I disagree on the strictness. I feel like
his teams look free to you.
When he coached United,
I've never seen their right back go forward.
I mean,
Well, that was Johnson.
Johnson does play. He was last game. He got up top. Last game he was getting up top,
But that's not his style. You know that's not David Moyes. And that's what that was a Man U problem. That was a Man U problem.
Because if you look at it, Leighton Baines back in the day.
Yeah, but that was it. Where did they usually get their attacks from? Through the fullbacks.
Through the fullbacks.
Coleman and
Leighton Baines.
Cresswell has a big impact on that squad, so he's relying on that fullbacks. When he was at United, at his time at United, Patrice Evra was having him and Raphael were having great seasons under Moyes. So the problem with Moyes, I think maybe at his time in United, he did give the players the freedom because
he's not exciting ball.
But
he's not exciting ball.
But
that's like college soccer.
But
David Moyes plays college soccer.
I disagree.
Oh my God.
You're bugging because he's giving.
But you know what? Listen,
Hold on.
that's
You
why
don't think that he's very systematic.
He ain't expansive like that.
And he's not expanding.
No,
He's not ideas. He's not.
We're talking about it.
We were just talking about Pep, and we were just talking about Club, how innovative they are, and how they have like a personality, and it's fun to watch, and you're in awe and all that. David Moyes, as much as a great manager he is, and as a club, I want him as a manager. At the same time, it's not fun.
I think it's entertaining ball. I was more excited to watch the West Ham Liverpool game than I was excited to watch the derby because I knew I was going to get.
That's because you're biased.
No, I was going to get a good game. I was going to get a team that's going to give you 100%, another team that's going to give you 100%.
Oh, I'm not saying that David Moyes teams don't give him 100%.
No, but I'm just
saying,
saying,
they're giving you 100% of boringness.
No, it was entertaining ball. We could all agree to it.
But you know what?
He has made a statement.
Benrahma, whatever. He's the best. He's the most exciting player in West Ham.
Antonio
Antonio's
could ball.
exciting,
Jared Bowen could ball. Fornals can ball.
Big up.
I'm not taking these guys serious. I'm not taking none of those players
Antonio
serious.
is stiff, but he could ball.
But
Susek can ball.
Any of those
Kurt
players
Zuma
starting
can't
on
ball.
Liverpool?
You know what?
Any of those of David Moyes' players starting on Chelsea?
On Chelsea,
No,
Declan Rice.
none of them.
Declan Rice.
I'm sorry, Declan's the only one that could start. Besides that, all other 10 players, none of them will start on the top 4 teams.
But you know what? Let me get into another coach.
Which is praise to David Moyes for getting it done. But at the same
they're in
time,
third right now.
it's boring.
Because you got to say
It's
but
boring.
that's why-
Boring is a big word.
But that's
they're
why-
top of the Europa League group.
They're not boring, but they're West Ham. They're
so
not
what's
ready.
exciting?
They're entertaining.
Tuchel's exciting.
He either wins 1-0 or loses 1-0.
That's what I'm saying. It's like someone like Conte.
Is he exciting?
I don't think Conte's exciting
That's
either.
what I'm saying.
But
he
he's
wins.
one of the best managers
So
in
does
the world.
Mourinho, though.
And he's not exciting either.
That's trash to me.
Then who's exciting to you?
There's so many. Club is exciting.
Cholo Simeone is exciting?
Sometimes.
Ancelotti's exciting?
Come on, Ancelotti is exciting. You know that for
Ancelotti's
sure.
exciting, bro.
What? Nah.
So what's exciting to you? Who just Pep and Klopp, honestly.
I didn't.
Club. I thought the one from Thailand that just got fired, he was exciting on Wolves.
Nah.
Nuno was excited on Wolves. So last year we wasn't excited on Wolves. So hold on. So I'm
I actually think they look better under
2 years
Bruno.
ago. 2 years ago, yes.
Pedro
Bro, they all
Neto.
look mad good, bro.
2 years ago when
There's
he had
exciting
informed
coaches.
Jimenez.
There's exciting coaches out
informed
there.
Traore.
Mark Arteta's balling right now. Their teams are
Arteta
balling.
is interesting.
He's exciting right now. He's exciting. The tactics, the press, the way they play with the ball. It's
just Arsenal
fun
being
to
informed.
watch.
It's Arsenal being informed.
And me being a fan, I love exciting coaches. I love exciting ball.
I think David Moyes gives you exciting ball.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
Yeah, I could name you a West Ham 11. That's excitement.
Over any other. Yo, are you serious?
But because you got to think, I mean, none of us are West Ham fans, but they're in third. They would sign up for this
It's
every
also not
day.
Thanksgiving. Like wait until
When Jesse
Thanksgiving.
Lingard was there, that wasn't exciting.
Only because Jesse Lingard. There you go. One exciting player.
No, I'm just saying it's more excitement. But he knows it's tactical. I really feel like he sits there and he breaks the game down. I'm gonna face City. I'm gonna face Pep. He's a high pressure.
So you think he's just sitting there telling players to move only 5 yards this way, 5 yards this way? What do you think he's actually telling these players?
He's redeeming himself. But I feel like he's
bro,
telling
he's not
himself he knows that
Bro,
Pep is gonna.
the scouting report is not that in depth, bro. I'm telling you, it's not that in depth.
You played in Colombia.
That's what I'm saying. It's not in depth, bro. They'll tell you, they'll give you a lineup of what they possibly do, what style do they like to do. They like to play out the right back, so tuck in a little more. But it's not out here like, oh, when this player gets on this side of the field, you instantly tuck in. Another guy runs back and covers your spin up, bro. It's just.
But I feel like
any soccer player, you know, it's
So
pressure.
you're just saying it's Heart FC.
How about
it's not hard
Daryl?
FC.
How about we
RFC.
they didn't break down the games like
Bro, I mean, not to the level of what like David Moyes is doing, but you can easily tell when
I
you're
can
watching
tell that's
them,
by level.
You can tell just watching them the way they set up. Let's say the two center backs have the ball. You can just watch and say, "Oh, there's no space in the middle. They're gonna have to play out wide. There's no space in the middle." That's how these teams play. That's why Moyes won't make it at a top club because United fans don't want to see that. They want to see their team on the front foot. So that's why managers like Conte, people say he's boring, but when you really think about it, did y'all peep the whole thing with Steve Holland on that Coach's Voice? You know how they do that stuff on YouTube, the X's and O's.
Yeah, of course.
They showed that with Conte, it turned into like a 3-2-5 with the two wing backs pushing so high. Like that, I'm telling you, in the next 5 years, that's gonna be the new way going forward. They showed Liverpool are doing that now, where they leave like Fabinho do the two center backs 3 with two holding midfielders, and then Trent and Robbo up front with the front 3 as a 5-2-3.
But Barca's
It's
been
never
doing that,
it's
though.
never what it is on paper.
Barca's been doing that though. Barca's been doing that.
That was real in that
Yeah,
way, though.
bro. How many times would you see that Valdez would get the ball and literally his 3 options are Puyol, Piqué, and then Sergio Busquets tucking in, and then where's Jordi Alba or Alba? Eric Alba on the left all the way up, and Dani Alves all the way
But
up.
because I don't like using them as an example because you're never gonna find that an 11 that good.
All right, so
ever.
Systematically, it was like
the
that,
City
though.
thing. So it's a Pep thing then, because if like a City, Rodri plays drop backs all the time. Plays literally right in front of the two center
And then
backs.
you got your 2 8s, De Bruyne,
And then you literally have Kyle Walker and you have Joe playing all the way up. Like they're literally playing as
beautiful
attacking
breakdown.
midfielders.
Edison can move the ball out the back.
This ain't fucking.
Madison can spray the ball around though.
No, I think Pep really.
He created that system now.
But that's why it's converted from a lot of soccer. It was 4-3-3 when we were kind of growing up to now that it's like that 3-5-3 or 3-5-2-1 because it's all those. They know, they recognize that if you get your right back, your left back up, and you have a defensive mid that can stand in the middle, you have options all over the way. You could tiki-taka in, or you could spray wide and get the ball in from the sides.
That's how we are where we are because of the 2 wing backs.
That's
why we are where we are right now because of Reece James and Chile. That's literally they've saved us in games.
Even Alonso.
And Alonso and Aspi, it's the same. Like we've seen a lot of places like that position, right? Low key,
It makes you money.
oh, it's the most.
You know what comes clutch in those positions that he's talking about? You need 2 solid fullbacks, and you actually need a solid CDM that could support.
CDM is the support them.
Because Loftus-Cheek looks amazing.
Or for City, Rodri. I give Rodri
or
for me.
Fernandinho.
Fernandinho. That's why for y'all, that's a big
that's
spot.
why.
Those two, mind you, look at those positions for you. The 2 fullbacks, wingbacks, whatever you want to call it, and the defensive midfielders. It's not, everything else around it is actually nice, but those 3, it's not where it needs to be.
That's all.
Talking about formations and stuff like that. That even though that Real Madrid played a 4-3-3, they low key played a 3-5-2 actually.
Because Marcelo and Carvajal.
Because Marcelo and Carvajal were going up, and Casemiro just literally tuck in, and then you had Modric and Casemiro playing as 8s. So that formation's always existed.
Speaking,
It's getting love now though. It's just like highlight now with Liverpool and City.
I think it's also because the actual player, the actual soccer player, is getting more fit and
Technical.
eating better, they're training better, they're getting fitter,
Up and down,
so they
up
could
and
just
down,
up and down, no problems.
Yeah.
now, leading into another coach that I want to highlight is Ten Hag. Obviously, talks has been rumored with Tottenham. Talks has been rumored with United. That being he was Pep's assistant
At Bayern.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, he was Pep's assistant at Bayern. Now he's the main man for Ajax. So, what's your thoughts on Ten Hag and can he play that system? Can he break down big teams?
So I saw both of their games against Dortmund, and I'm not gonna hold you. They look just as good, if not better, from 2018-19 when they shocked Real and they were a game away from the final.
A minute away from the final.
Bro, it's like there are players on that team, and we all know Tadic when he was at Southampton.
Anthony?
And then, that kid, and he's linked to Real. That kid's filthy.
He's another Rafinha.
But then you look at to your point, because you brought up West Ham, the guy who's their 9, Hollier, who's the starting 9
West
at
Ham
West Ham, and
reject.
flopped. Bro, like I'm looking at Ten Hag and the way Ajax is just set up. It's just like they're exciting. To your point, they get to the front foot. He's young. I don't know. In terms of where he would go, United, there's not a lot of techie guys on United.
Does he You think his system would work for United?
It would, but it would have to be complete rebuild because you have fullbacks that don't fit a system, right?
Holding midfielders.
You have a holding midfield that doesn't fit a system, and then when you look at the front, I mean, Haller he's not as good as Cavani or Ronaldo, but I think he also prefers a focal point. You know what I mean? Because Haller is techie, but he's
6'1".
Yeah,
6'2",
he's still a focal point. So I don't know if United works because they would have to tailor the whole thing around him, and they don't have players that fit what he's trying to do.
Is he even proven to take him to Man U?
Bro, you take Ajax at a semifinal.
The one thing could be a coincidence. Show it to me twice, then I know what you mean.
No. But BCAS. With all due respect,
Ajax is their leader of the squad of a bum league, and don't get me wrong though. I was
no, you gotta respect the Dutch.
Stop. I'm not taking them serious. Nah, for real. All jokes aside,
They do it in Champions League though.
No, they played very well against Dortmund, and they made me money. Hey, shout out. But at the same time, it's not. I don't see it as like, you know, if it happens once, twice, cool. It has to be consistent, and he's not. I don't see him doing that at a big club.
The thing is, I give him credit because
and Ole. Okay.
Nah, forget.
And Ole.
I think you know why I give him credit was he was the coach for that 18-19 team, right?
He was a coach.
So he had a whole turnover of players, and he's back. So if he does well this season, mind you, but the thing is though,
Because the second season he lost De Jong, De Ligt,
Ziyech, Dest, he lost
Dest.
Dest,
Van de Beek.
Van de Beek. But I will say this though, those players they're each one of them they've left and they're not actually doing that well
under his system.
Nah, they're all doing well besides Ben.
Nah, Frankie's still sus for me.
Still questions out.
Nah,
Ziyech, y'all can have him back because the Ajax can have him back. Van de Beek can't get a game.
The lid, he's coming in.
Shaky.
So that actually proves my point.
What?
No, they look better on
it's the players.
It proves my point.
It's the Ajax
These players
system.
looking great in these bum leagues. You put them in good leagues, they trash.
Nah, but if he gets
Brian.
his players under a system, he'll do well. But those players out of his system individually, like Ziyech had to come to Chelsea and figure it out. De Jong should be able to figure it out because Barca, Ajax, same thing. Van de Beek left to go to another system, can't figure it out. But if he gets his players, he'll do his thing. Bro, he'll ball. They be knocking it.
Only time would tell, bro.
They be popping that thing
Time
around.
would tell.
Bro, they're a good side,
And if
bro.
they get
He ain't
blown
better than
out,
Tuchel, though.
If they qualify the next round, they get.
Y'all heard me.
blown
He ain't
out.
better than
It's the
Tuchel,
same.
But it's Ajax.
Oh, but now it's Ajax. Well, that's funny though. But if they get blown out,
Nah,
next
you know
game,
why,
the first
Brian?
round,
Because-
in the round of whatever, round of 18, 16, they get blown the hell
Brian,
out. Where is he good now?
Brian, but you got to be careful with that because we spoke about it before. Look at Pirlo, right? Pirlo got the job off a technicality at Juve. 1 year they were garbage. Xavi comes into Barcelona, Al-Sadd. He's coaching farmers, but he gets the biggest job at Barcelona. So my thing is we could talk about Ten Hag and Ajax and Dutch League. Bro, I can name you 10 coaches that have jobs they don't deserve. Xavi for me is on top of the list because I don't know. Shout out to Hector Lasso. I don't know what Al-Sadd winning a league does for anybody. That to me is bonkers. Like, you get me? And then, like I said, with all due respect, I know we don't want to talk about Ole. Mold in Cardiff, and because you're a legend.
Lampard at Derby, say what you want, but did he deserve a Chelsea?
Wayne Rooney at Derby. What has Wayne Rooney done at Derby?
Let me ask you a question. So, how much credit does a coach get of a professional player, right? And he's a baller. How much credit should they get moving forward to the next part of their career?
I think they're just trying to emulate the Pep Barca.
No, but I'm saying like.
You think it's that simple?
Regardless of
I
that.
think every club literally sees a Pep Barca where they're like, all right, they brought a homegrown.
It happened a couple times.
And
though.
then Luis
a couple
Enrique.
times they hit.
I think it's a
Pep and Zidane are
but
the
you
two
gotta
most
talk.
notable.
Pep,
If you're
Zidane
gonna say
hit.
that,
Luis Enrique.
but if you're gonna
Enrique
say
hit.
that,
That was it though. It just
But if you
the jury's out on Luis Enrique.
if you're gonna say it's a Pep, then you gotta explain like what is it a feeling that Pep brought to Barca, him being an ex-player? Is that what they're trying to bring?
That's what I'm
Restore a
asking
feeling
you.
type
What is it that all these players like? Yeah, they get praised while being a baller, but when they move over to being a coach, why do you think that transition? Why do you think they get an easy pass to the transition? Easy pass to international people are like you cut the bridge.
Like what's the difference between Sam
line of the
Allardyce
bridge.
and Frank Lampard? Why didn't Sam Allardyce get a job going to Chelsea? He's been managing for how many years?
I feel
Lampard
like
did 1 year at Derby and he got a job.
How they broke it down is like, okay, like one, he knows the club. Takes a difference. That was home.
Yeah, so does the ball boy.
No, but hear me out.
You know what's expected.
He knows the club. He's seen what they did with Derby, even though I always said like his accomplishment with Derby it was good, but it wasn't great. Like you finished in the playoffs, but you lost. Like you didn't make it. But to probably Abramovich is like, okay, he had guys like Harry Wilson and you know what I'm saying, Mason Mount, but he's like, he didn't have the names that I could give him the check that he needs, and maybe he could build me a team that could actually give me good ball. Lampard wasn't a bad coach. Out of all the people we named, he actually did a better job than Ole, and it was more entertaining.
You think Frankie's better than Ole?
Yeah.
I think.
You think Ole would have finished 4th with that same team that season?
Yeah, I don't.
You think Frank finished second last year with Man U?
With that team? Team?
No, he don't.
I gotta give it to Frank. Did he leave with a trophy?
No.
Y'all lost to Arsenal.
Lost in the final.
But still made it to a final. And on top of that, but the only thing I'm always gonna come at Frank is you got the money to spend that you wanted. So it's like,
no, he didn't. Frank didn't really have that much money to spend.
$250.
No, but he had it. But he didn't have time to spend it. Like he didn't have time with it.
Timo?
He didn't have time with it because the first year was COVID year, and then they had the ban for a while.
Yeah, but he went and got Havertz. He went and got Timo his second year, and it's just like, all right.
Yeah, and then they fired him 2 weeks later.
Who has it worked for besides Pep then? If we're saying
Pep and Zidane.
Pirlo, Lampard, Zidane, okay, so those two.
But there's also, it also depends on what you're debating, because there are legends that it has worked for, but they took different routes. And the main guy that comes to mind, Steven Gerrard, went to Rangers, and it worked for him. Vieira, even though kind of flamed out at Nice, was humble and took a job with MLS. And now look at Palace. Yeah. So that's my thing. It's just the whole Ten Hag thing. I find it more impressive when I see what coaches can do with less expectations and just elevate. Like Rangers, forget what they did in Scotland and usurp Celtic. They perform well in Europe. You get me? Palace upsetting City. So it's just things like that where I'm just like, yo, like there's some people in management that, I don't know, I'm not a sporting director. I'm not interviewing with these guys. I you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, there are certain coaches that I think deserve big jobs off merit. And a lot of legends, you know who I just thought of just now? Gattuso for some reason. Clarence Seedorf.
Maybe good, maybe shit.
And let me throw in another guy that, and we kind of saw him, and I think he's going to be a big name, is Shevchenko. Just took a job at Genoa. Look what he did with the Ukraine.
He did all right.
And bro, taking Ukraine to the Euros is, I think, the first time in their history.
They did all right.
You got me?
And they look good.
No, they look good, yeah.
In some games they look terrible.
Now they had those two center forwards that just kept getting buckets.
Yeah.
Al-Shad. Yo,
I'm waiting. Take is hilarious.
No, bro, it's true.
Right now, to wrap this in thoughts, who's your top 3 managers right now? Well, top 5. Ooh.
In the world or in the Prem?
In everywhere.
In the world?
I like the Prem, but I'm tired of hearing
outside the Prem. Top 5 managers.
Okay, give me a top 5 in the Prem.
I'll give you top 3 in the Prem.
Bro, but that's easy. Come on.
David Moyes, Club Pep, and then honorable mention Brandon Rodgers.
He's made a chatting nonsense.
Wow. No. But
Brandon Rodgers.
You see that? But that topic is because 3 are right off the bat.
Oh, okay.
So what's Tuchel?
How about 3 without Club and Club?
Where's Tuchel?
And Tuchel.
Brandon Rodgers, Tuchel, and
Pep.
Yo, don't put Brandon Rodgers and Tuchel in the same.
Nah, why not? Why not? Why not?
BR. You know what I'm saying? I definitely say BR.
Brandon Rodgers, Tuchel, and David Moyes. That's it.
So my 5, just said my 5: Pep, Klopp, Tuchel, Conte, Nagelsmann.
In the world. Swap Nagelsmann for Charles.
Conte.
Simeone, you?
Yeah.
I like that 5, but I think, yeah, that's a good 5. Yeah.
All right, we good.
I'll say that.
No, it's Carlo Ancelotti's on top 5. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, that's clip for you.
Most Champions League than all those coaches you put together.
Shout out to Al-Sad. I wasn't trying to violate, but
your top 5, Enrique's top 5. Hey, Carlo Ancelotti got more trophies than all these guys put together.
I'm gonna holler at you, bro.
Good one, man.
Back in history.
What do you mean back in history?
Anyways, please.
He's won one in the last 10 years.
History.
That's more recent than Pep.
Bro, he had a master team, but do not forget to like, subscribe, and give your thoughts on your man's Brian's little Carlo Ancelotti take, because that really does matter. But Footy Fanatics FC, we are out of here.